Zoom, zoom, like a race car flight, but it ain't a car. It's a super fast tortoise going the speed of light, breaking all the
Even in space, a group of tortoises is called a creep. Welcome to Super Fast Tortoise.
Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's talk from in the shell and share good vibes and good times. Friends and trends that bend the senses. Let's get up, it's senseless. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we bring good vibes and good times. Welcome to the morning coffee show with Super Fast Tortoise. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we have the flow. Good vibes from head to toe.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Super Fast Tortoise morning coffee show.
Good morning, everybody.
Woohoo!
Good morning.
Good morning.
The
Good
wild
morning.
appeared.
Yeah, the ball show likes to show up at the last second.
The last possible second.
That's right.
Oh my goodness.
Like no one knew he was here until after the opening credits, you know?
It was a nice surprise. It was like Christmas morning and you find that extra present.
That's right.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
It's more like
And
looking for the pickle in the tree.
There you go. You must be German.
That's funny.
I was going to say the next thing you ask for is the receipt so you can return it. The gift. Do you have the gift receipt for this so I can return it?
That's right. Well, that's my trick. I don't give the receipt back, so they're stuck with it. I don't even tell them where I got the gift from. All right, but my friends, it is Thursday morning
Already.
It is.
and we got a good roster here. That's right. Let's give a round of applause. Tom Mitchell, listen on the way to work. Have a great show. Thank you, Tom Mitchell. We love you.
Well,
Let's introduce everybody. First, we have here MTG Hillbilly.
Dag, blag it.
That's right. Got Hillbilly here with us today. He looks excited for the topic that's going to happen. But we also have
Tibalts Apprentice wins. Flawless victory.
I never hear that. Ever. Flawless is way overstated, but I'm hoping to hear that one day.
Right? Play a game of Commander, take no damage, win the game.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Then we have
Time to rock. We got the TheoneRAYman.
that's right. We got Rayman here today, not on camera, but he's here. He's
Yeah,
hiding.
unfortunately, with the rain we got last night and as cold as it was, the roads froze over a little bit. Everything's kind of shut down. So I am streaming from my humble abode, and we are audio only today. But we are here, and I'm still disappointed that there's no gong with the Baltz intro.
There we go. A little late, but it's there.
That's right. It's funny. No gong. Yeah, well, I'm sorry. Like, I got to keep the introductions at a certain amount of time. Look, I think I did good with those recordings.
I think they're great. I just think the Baltz needs the gong.
He needs a gong in his filming location. He can
That's
be
it. I
like,
should have one right here where I can just hit it.
That's right. It's like, hit it.
Yeah. I guess that's what stream decks are for.
That's right. That's what we kind of have right here. But my Lord, I want to remind everybody.
You're crazy.
You are watching Super Fast Tortoise.
Yeah. A little spice in the morning show. Woo, that's a good morning, though. We were talking about cards behind the background. They spoiled all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle rare mythic cards on from Wizards of the Coast.
Yep.
So later on, I plan on doing an early live to kind of go through those.
Cool.
So I'm excited. I'm excited for the turtles. I don't know if you're turtle enough for the Turtle Club, but I'm excited. You wouldn't know about right now how excited I'm about turtles because I'm all in Jurassic Park garb. It's all Tibalts' fault. He told me to wear something scary tonight.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. But anyways, how you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
Doing good.
So Hillbilly, where can people find you?
You can find me on YouTube
Yeah.
twice a day, not counting this stream, but if you want to see me 3 times a day, then you got to come here. But anyway, twice a day over on my YouTube channel is where you can find me.
Nice. All right. Links in the description if it definitely doesn't pop up in chat. But we got Tibalt, where can people find you?
You can find me occasionally on the Super Fast Morning Show for the having coffee, and you can find me occasionally on a Commander game or two. But if you want Tibalts Apprentice content, the best place to go is darkritual.site, not .com, .site. That's the best place to go. You can find my TCGplayer store there. You can find my blog. You can find the Arcane Nexus if you want to know how cards can work, or suggestions for cards, I guess is the best thing to say. Anyhow, you can find everything Tibalts Apprentice at darkritual.site.
All right. That link's in the description. His YouTube link's in the chat. And TheoneRAYman, where do people normally find you?
Well, normally I'm streaming from Mr. B's Game Lounge in Pennington, Virginia. That is not the case today, but that's where I'm normally at.
Mm-hmm.
We also have the YouTube channel up and running. We got a bunch of games on there already, and we're hoping to get some more in. Next week's game is a little up in the air because of inclement weather, but if we happen to miss next week, then we'll be back the next week. Certainly, we may even try to put 2 games up the next week if we have to miss next week, so we can try to keep the amount of content going and just show people more Commander games. And, you know, I really think one of the things, and since we're not in the shill section, but I'm going to shill just a little bit, one of the things I think that makes our games so much fun is the people who play in them all know each other. These are people who play each other on a semi-regular basis, even though, as you've seen if you've watched the show, we have a big rotating cast. We've had, I think, 9 different people on playing games, but they all know each other, and they all play, and we have so many more who could be playing. So you get some banter that you wouldn't normally get in a lot of places if you're just playing with people that you don't necessarily know super well.
Nice.
So check us out on YouTube at Mr. B's Game Lounge.
Sounds good. Sounds delicious. All right. That's cool. I like some of you are seeing the links in chat. I don't know what Nightbot's doing. Like, it's posted links on the non-phone side, non-vertical side, and then posted links in the vertical side. So it's like having a hard time choosing which way to place the link when honestly it should be posting in both places. Right. But everybody's links are in the description below. So don't feel bad if you don't see their links in chat. You can still find them in the description.
I mean, I'm seeing links on both ends, but it's more of a link on the widescreen instead of the phone screen.
Right. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying. Aaron Source Rex Nightbot does what he wants. That's right. Nightbot. Aaron Source Rex.
Morning, Eve.
StreamerBot might be better than Nightbot.
Might be. I don't know nothing about StreamerBot. But my friends, it's that time of day where we get to a special segment where we all love the special segment. And hold on before I tout my horn too much on there, because I realized during the whole time I was here, I did not upload anything. I was just chilling out, showing people stuff and hanging out with everybody, right? Hanging out with everybody.
Well, you know what that means, guys. We're going to have to sing and cover for Tortoise while he works on it.
Oh, would you please sing? I want a musical.
No, actually, I don't want anybody's ears bleeding, so we don't want that.
We'll go over to movies and checkers while you're getting ready.
Nope.
Card of the day.
That's the ridiculous part.
There it is.
It does not take me long to upload pictures. The card of the day is Rennet Temporal Apprentice. I was reading this card and I'm like, this is a fun, annoying card. It's going to be annoying in Standard. It's going to be annoying in Commander. People who play token decks and like play Avengers in the card are going to be mad at this card.
Yeah, definitely.
That's right. So Rennet Temporal Apprentice costs 3 generic, 2 blue, 4/3, legendary creature, human wizard. Can be your commander, has flash. When Rennet enters the battlefield, return each other non-land permanent that entered this turn to its owner's hand. So, yeah, you can basically time walk an opponent out of the game for a turn. Or not time walk, but basically reverse their turn. Play reverse Uno.
Yep.
The fact that they says enters this turn kind of handicaps it from what I was thinking of, but that ability to return things to people's hands, especially against token decks,
Yeah.
awesome.
I think that's where this is going to see its most play. I think this is great against decks that want to make a bunch of tokens in a single turn, especially if they normally have a way to give those tokens haste, like Goblin decks. Goblins are going to hate this card so much.
Oh, yeah.
They are going to have to leave a 1 red up for a Red Elemental Blast or a Pyroblast, because if you want to see a Krinko deck just crumble, let them make 100 tokens in a turn and get ready to swing, and then just bounce them all back to their hand.
That's right.
Then the rest of the table is going to be like, oh, well, he just went off and we got saved for a turn. I guess we better kill it.
Yeah.
So ridiculous. So ridiculous. This card is powerful. When I was reading it, I'm like, that's pretty good. It's no Aetherize or no
No.
Aether Spouts.
Yeah.
But it's a turn reversal card basically.
Yep.
I mean, you
Yeah,
can't
I
do
think
everything
that's
in a
pretty
turn, but yeah.
I mean, if somebody plays a spell, then you play this, then they play another spell, you only get to return 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you can wait until they're like, unless you think they're going to attack, you can always just wait until they're in step unless they're casting their permanents as they had flash. All the permanents are that are going to be in for the turn are going to be in for the turn.
Yeah. There's no timing restrictions on this card. You
No,
can
that's
wait for
fine.
their end step, cast, return everything they played that turn to their hand.
Yep.
I got a feeling some people will skip to this card. They'll be like, I don't like it.
If you
Especially
time it
since
just
it's your
right.
commander. Yeah. Can you imagine if this is your commander? You just got removal on the command zone, playing counter spells and stuff. You leave 5 mana open, 7 mana open, and 9 mana open.
I mean, I think if you have this in your command zone and somebody plays into this knowing you can just cast it whenever, that they deserve whatever terrible thing happens to them.
That's right.
Yes, they do.
Yep.
Rennet Temporal, I think it's Renee, but Rennet Temporal Apprentice is a pretty powerful card, though. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
But that,
Another good card out of the Turtle series. I mean, like almost all the rares I've seen are playable, which is good. Although I'm concerned. I thought Lorwyn was such a good set, and that we had good cards, and not all of them were like crazy powerful, but there were a lot of good cards. There are a lot of very, very powerful cards in TMNT, and it could warp Standard pretty bad, I think, because there's a lot of good stuff.
Oh yeah, a lot of good stuff. Now with that, let's get to the picture of the day. The picture of the day is TMNT spoilers are starting. Are you excited as I am?
Yeah,
And
probably not, but I'm pretty excited.
the spoiler started when Lorwyn came out, apparently.
Like the Lorwyn spoiler started a pre-release accidentally this time.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure that one card over on the left side is like a Yu-Gi-Oh trap card, because that card is pink.
Could be. It could be. This is AI generated, so this is the best they would do with Magic cards. I mean, look, they even tried putting the little rare mark on the bottom. The little.
Oh yeah, they put the hollow stamp.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I'm excited for the turtle spoilers. I want to go through the turtle spoilers and have fun with it. But that's for another day. Another day. That's another picture. And if you want to share a picture day or a card of the day or even a question of the day, become part of the Discord. The link's in the description below, but if you need to, I'll try to put it in the chat. And join Discord so you can, help out and have fun.
I think people would be hard pressed to be as excited as you are.
Exactly.
I could say you're excited, but when you put that as I am in there, I think you pushed it to that next level where nobody's going to catch up.
That's right. But, my friends, it is that time of day where we get to... Presented by Discord, we have the question of the day. Question of the day was brought to us by Tibalt, Matt, Saxon, Jones, every name you want to call him. I'm pretty fine with it, as long as it's not late for dinner. Let's see what he had asked.
Hey, Creep. How's it going? So today's question is, what's the worst that would happen if all the cards were available to all the people that wanted to play? You know what I mean? If they just suddenly was a mass printing of all the various cards, whether they're on the reserved list or regardless. What's the worst thing that could happen? I don't know. It's just kind of a thought experiment. Anyhow, hope you enjoy.
Ooh, so what's the worst thing if all the cards were just available and mass printed?
Yeah,
That would be a good thing.
I think it would be great. I think it'd be great, honestly. I don't know what it would have the effects on market and blah 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 blah. But from a strictly playing the game standpoint, I think it would be fantastic. Because the people who would want to go and play standard at and see if they really could make it at a professional level over a year and a half, but they just can't. They don't have the funds to build every deck that they need to go play at this RCQ and that RCQ. I think it would be very good for game play. That's one of the reasons why I personally, and I cannot say this about the lounge because we're not allowed to, but I do not care if you sit down across from me and with your commander deck and you have proxies in it. I do not care. Can I read the card? Do I know what the card does? Is it clear? Awesome. Let's play Magic. That's all I care about. As a WPN store, Mr. B's Game Lounge is officially anti-proxy, and we have to say that you can't bring proxies and play in sanctioned events, because that's the Wizards. That's what Wizards makes us say. But I personally, the TheoneRAYman, I do not care. I just want to play Magic.
Let's play Magic. So the worst thing that could happen if they just flushed the market with all these new printings of new and old and reserved list cards, is it would crash the market.
Yeah, I mean that's most likely what would happen.
Right.
So that's why I didn't want to talk about money, because it would not be a good thing for the money people in the game. The players would love it. The money people would not.
I think even the players would find it not as challenging. I'm not going to say I love or hate the idea, but like I said, just as a thought experiment, I'm thinking about that. And it's like the closest thing I could imagine, is if you were going to play, if you're going to play a game like chess and you could replace every pawn with a queen, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? And I think that takes, for some people, there's a certain gamer segment that they would go 100%. They would be into it. It would be awesome. They would solve the games as fast as they could if they had access to everything. So love it or hate it, I think you need a certain amount of scarcity. And I actually feel that the scarcity of the cards or the restrictions of the cards often lead to more unique and creative gameplay.
So for formats that aren't Commander, what Tibalt's explaining already happens, right? That I guess that was part of my point of, like I said, the people who want to play Standard, if they want to see, hey, I think I'm good enough to be on the Pro Tour, but I do not have the money to go and buy the decks I need because I know what the best games in the meta are, right? Now, currently, Standard is a little bit in flux because Lorwyn just dropped. But within a week and a half to 2 weeks from now, we'll have a very good idea of what decks are the best decks in the format.
Losing Potato says it would have to necessitate the much more pregame conversation. You know, what kind of deck you're playing,
For sure.
what kind of power level you're playing. But if everybody had access to all the same cards, and if money was no problem in that case, because it's all cheap.
But see, I don't think people would still play, like, we've had this conversation. I don't think people would just be like, oh, I'm just going to play the most powerful deck I can, because there are people who enjoy playing longer games of Magic. There's a reason why I do not play CEDH and why I don't really like to play Bracket 4. I don't want to spend more time shuffling my deck than playing my deck.
Well, only good players shuffle their deck.
And in CEDH in Bracket 4, those are very real possibilities that you have spent more time shuffling your deck than you are getting to actually play the deck. So I don't think it would necessarily just be like, oh, everybody's going to build the best deck they can.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're going to talk about here very soon is why is pertinent to this conversation about the brackets, how they work, and the things that people, I think, miss. I actually have some things to share when it's time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. And thinking about that, and I'll get answers, everybody. Let's get into the topic. I need to make a new sound for so when we get to the topic, I can ring it so people like audibly can be like, oh, we're switching to the topic. That'd be fun. I think that'd be clever. But with that, let's look at the brackets, right?
Oh, good. That's one less thing I can take that off my thing. Tord already had the bracket.
Oh, they've been on here for years.
Yep.
Not years, but it's been on here since it came out. So here's the bracket list. Here's my bracket list. But there's that bracket list. So let me start off while Rayman is finding his doohickey stuff. I did share the links to the conversation. I did share the links in the description and in Discord if those are the things you're looking for. The bracket list is not a band-aid, is what I want to start with. It's not a band-aid. It's not a patch. Let's fix a boo-boo type thing.
Mm-hmm.
The bracket list is here to kind of explain basically what the brackets are. One expedition is more like the fun lollygag kind of format that you want to play in Commander. Core 2 is a little more focused, but it's more like what an old school pre-con would be like, but you can't say pre-con anymore. But it's more for the casual gamer, super casual gamer. You got Upgraded 3, which is more of a casual game with more of a focus and synergy built into the deck. You got Bracket 4, which is more tuned to CEDH, but not CEDH, but more aggressive, more focused, more synergistic, like having the ability to basically play things really quick and at least have 4 turns before anyone wins or loses the game. Then we have Bracket 5 CEDH, which is completely its own format, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
All right, let's see. We got Kakalon. What's up? Last time I played Fallen Empires was new. Nice.
Go.
The battle days.
Yeah.
He got sucked into so hard of the game. Nice. But yeah, I may or may not have bought all the Universe Beyond Commander decks.
Awesome.
So anyways, the Commander brackets are here to explain the Commander games you want to have. It's a conversational starter that people kind of ignore. Like, because we have one person in the community who has a Core 2 deck, but it plays more like Core 3 or Bracket 3.
Well, then it's not a Core 2 deck.
Right.
It's not.
The intention's different, you know?
Yeah.
The intent this can turn an expedition deck into a Bracket 3 deck, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like based on how you want to win, you build in synergies. But that's just overextending the idea of it. But anyways, Uh, Kakalon says 40K. What the price about? That's because it's a very rare set.
And those decks are all awesome, and 40K is awesome.
They're all good.
All right,
Yep.
So Rayman, I know you want some stuff to say about this, so I'm gonna let you have the floor for as long as you need it to
Okay.
talk about what you want.
So I'm glad that this graphic exists, right? It's a good thing. It's there that you can just look at it really quick and get an idea of what's going on. But it does not, like most graphics, they don't tell the whole story, right? There is something that's really important to this, and I'm going to share my screen here. Yep. Boom, share screen. I want to share both. Oh, wait. Let's do this one first. Okay. Can everybody see this?
Hold on. There you go.
Awesome. So this is from the article back in April. This was not the first bracket article. It's the second one. But it's something that people really need to read. And I have to have this conversation all the time. I have this conversation with somebody at the lounge, and I don't mean necessarily one person, but different people at different times, at least a couple times a week. And I'm just going to read it real quick. It says the intent of play. When we first rolled out the bracket system, one mistake I believe we made was to not emphasize how important the intent you have for your deck is when selecting its bracket. The game changers list and the bracket guidelines got most of the emphasis, and intent sat on the sideline. However, in terms of importance, those should be flipped. Intent is the most important part of the bracket system. While there are guidelines to keep in mind when building a deck, no game changers in exhibition or core, no bad land denial through upgraded, etc., the bracket system is emphatically not just put your deck into a calculator, get assigned a rank, and be ready to play. Oh my God, I'm going to say it again. The bracket system is emphatically not just put your deck into a calculator, get assigned a rank, and be ready to play. I deeply appreciate the tools that websites like Moxfield and Archidec have put together to give you an overall estimate, and they've done some fantastic iterations to help emphasize intent as well. But I want to stress that any estimate is just an estimate. It's on you to use what you know to label your deck correctly. Gavin says that he can easily build a deck that technically meets the rules for core bracket 2 and plays at the power level of a bracket 4, as I'm sure many of you could too. These tools are helpful directions and guidelines, but ultimately knowing your own intent is the most critical piece of the whole thing. So that is so important.
Oh yeah.
And I think that of all the things that people, when they talk about the bracket system, that they miss is that. Now, it does harken back to something that we have talked about before, in that it's very hard to judge how powerful your deck is on paper. I cannot do it. I've been playing this game for a long time, and I know Tibalt has as well. And I would dare say that if someone sent Tibalt a deck list and it didn't have any game changers in it, no mass land denial, none of the signpost things that says, hey, this deck has to be in this bracket, then it would be difficult for him to properly assign it the bracket that it goes in.
Right.
Because until you sit down, put the cards in your hand, start playing them, see how interactions happen with other decks, that it's literally almost impossible to know how powerful a deck is just on paper.
Yeah.
And if no one ever takes anything I ever say from this podcast but this, please take this. Your deck isn't just what Moxfield says it is. Maybe it is, or Archidec, right? But it's probably not. It really requires you to play the deck out against other decks that are of that caliber, and that's very difficult if you don't play a ton of Magic. I understand that. But I think the most important thing is being willing to change stuff. I have built decks that I was like, okay, I'm fairly certain that this is going to play like a 3. I take it to my LGS, I play one game, and I go, nope, this has got to go back in the box. I've got to go home and make major changes. It's way more powerful than I thought. There was a synergy I missed, an interaction that I thought I understood that I didn't necessarily, that just took it way over the top, and the deck had to be retooled to bring it down to where we play at a 3. So that's one thing I just wanted to make sure. And I have, Gavin, he also talked about, share screen. Okay. So this is the one from, oh wait, no, that was the wrong one. Dang it.
You just go to the website, and on top it'll tell you to share the screen instead.
Oh, there we go. Okay, sweet.
Yep.
So this is from the October one that we got, and we should be having a new one fairly soon, I would say. Is the first thing we talked about like this before is the lack of focus on intent. So much about the brackets is about what you're intending to do. I can easily build the deck that fits the restrictions of bracket 2 but plays at a high power level. We're going to continue to emphasize that today with the expectations of what you can find in each bracket as a North Star. And this is where they added the play turns, right? And I see a lot of people talk about turn 6, right, for bracket 3 specifically. You just because you get your game could end on turn 6, it doesn't mean that it should. It says right here, our hope is also making things a lot clearer in terms of big game ending cards and combo, explaining where they should show up. For example, instead of wondering what no early game combos means, saying you don't expect to win or lose before turn 6 gives you pretty clear indication of what combos should be allowed, not ones that tend to happen in the first 6 turns. That doesn't mean you should just wait and hold your 2-card infinite until later. If a combo could frequently come up, it's not the best fit for that bracket.
Right.
So, like, if you're building your deck to win on turn 6 or 7, you're probably a bracket 4 deck because you're stretching the bracket to its breaking point, right? If your deck happens to win on turn 7 every now and then, but one game you're like, hey, I drew the nuts and I'm gonna win on 6, hey, that's fine. We're not going to say that one game is going to determine what bracket your deck does or doesn't belong in. But it also, that's where knowledge of the game matters.
Right. Knowledge of the game, knowledge of the cards, deck memory, all that fun stuff.
Like if Tort is playing Rafika the Mini and he puts Infect on his double striking commander and nobody interacts with it, well, yeah, okay. The game ended on turn 5 because you all died to Infect. Right. Maybe run some more interaction, right?
Yeah. and sometimes you cannot predict what's going to happen. Like there was a game where Lone Wolf was playing and he played Felidar Guardian, or the Felidar card that says if you have 40 or more life, you win the game at your upkeep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he played that, and the whole table went around with no removal because they didn't have removal, so he just won the game.
Oof.
Yeah, that happens, right? Yeah. And here's the thing: I would be fine with that card. I've never actually played against that card, but I'd be fine with that because if they drop it and you can't kill it or just get their life total below 40,
right?
Okay, right? That next game we can shuffle up and get another game in.
That's right.
But that's not something that he's going to be able to do every game, obviously.
Legion of Potato says, I met a dude who swore his Greytog deck was bracket 2. He had off-color fetches and was optimized to the point where he said he was able to use it in a tournament. No game changers. And so he said it was a bracket 2.
Yeah, because Moxfield or Arcadeck said, hey, you don't have any game changers. You don't have any early 2-card combos. Your deck's a bracket 2. No, it isn't. And that's why I hope when they do the next iteration of the game changers that they put out a nice little graphic like Tort showed in the beginning. But at the top of it, it says your intent is more important.
Then all of this that follows.
Right.
Yes.
Because that way, people who look at it go, oh, okay. They don't have to go read the article. They don't have to take somebody's word. Hey, man, this is what so-and-so said. And they're the ones in charge of Commander now. It's just right there in big bold letters at the top of the graphic.
Mhm.
Your intent of the deck is more important than all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
that is my TED talk on the bracket system and Architect in Moxfield.
That's pretty crazy. Well, I'm going to start a new format. It's called precons, where all your commanders have to be from a precon, and if it's anything upgraded, it applies to the bracket system right away.
That
Dude,
works.
it's funny.
Well,
Some of the
luckily I've
most
got a couple of-
powerful commanders in Commander are from precons, but the precons were all really mid. Like
That's right.
Markov, Atraxa. Those are all precon commanders from back
Mhm.
in the day, but those decks were not good. The commanders were great, but the Dragon, right? Dragon's another one. Commanders were great. The decks were, if those cards could not be commanders now, or commanders like on boxes now, with as powerful as they're making commander decks, they could not make another Markov deck now. It would be by and far the most powerful commander deck that ever got made, and it would curb stomp all other commander decks.
But yeah, but seriously though, like the intent is the biggest thing behind the bracket system. I wish fetches could be put on a scale at some point, because how many fetches you run sometimes does affect the deck, especially when you like running off colored fetches in your deck, just to have that ability to filter out and sacrifice lands. But you can't do that with every single card type. You can't be like, you're running X amount of this particular card. This is a bracket 4 card, because Relentless Rats is a good card. It's good in it was good in standard back in the day, like third Mirrodin, the original Mirrodin block and stuff. But like in a commander deck, it's not that great. But when you build consistency in deck synergy, like say you're running the fetches and you're running lots of fetches to perfect your mana, like by turn 2, turn 3, have like all 5 colors out, basically, or at least 5 mana out by then. That's a different story. But they can't rate that, because the one thing the bracket system cannot consolidate in its system is how your deck is going to draw cards.
Yeah,
Right.
I think the real thing, though, too, again, is it comes down to intent, because the more you try to legislate things, the more you try to put rules down, the more people are going to break them. So like Rayman said, like I said in the article, intent is the number one thing. I'm going to bring up a question that I asked a couple of days ago about what maybe triggered you as far as playing and stuff. And me, in the past, it was always seeing dual lands in a casual format in Commander.
You're talking about like OG dual lands?
The OG dual lands. Just because, like, right there, in my opinion, Rayman and I've talked about this a little bit, but that tells me that you are optimizing your deck as best as you possibly can. So to me, that triggers me as far as the fact of like, okay, I know I'm up against this guy and I got to kill him first. I don't care what's on the board. He's got a deck that's optimized. It's going to kill us all. I got to stop him. Rayman reminded me too, not everybody associates the same things with those cards, and maybe that isn't it, but up to this point, it's always been about intent. So often when I'm playing, I'm thinking about the intent of the person playing. If I've played with them before, I know, but it can be difficult to do that in a format or with people that you've never played with before.
Absolutely.
So you have to watch them. You have to keep that in mind. And you have to trust that people are being honest. And I think if more people were honest about their decks and the intent behind the deck, that would be better. I think that would lead to more fun for everybody. However, if you ask 5 different people what the definition of fun is, especially with this game, what's fun, you're probably going to get 5, maybe 6 different answers.
And I also think that people have a hard time, and again, I'm not immune to this, gauging how powerful their decks are, especially if it's something new.
Yeah.
It's so difficult.
Yeah, and it's not something. It's not something you can like teach around very easily, right?
No.
Because like for example, because we're still not done with it. We still got, I don't know how many episodes we'll have, but on the deck building game theory thing that you guys have been tagging along with, you've seen the deck theories and stuff, and they only can teach to the optimized level of things, to help people build better decks in general. But like, it cannot look at two things. One, it can't look at the price of cards, and two, it can't look at weak decks. You can build your deck to be weak, but when you're trying to help people understand game mechanics and building up synergies and stuff, you're trying to teach them to build a better deck.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason why the conversation of a game, a pre-game conversation, like Rule Zero conversation, is important, because if the new player wants to play with the more pro players, they could probably fix like a deck situation where one's playing with maybe a more powerful deck now that for the new player they borrowed a deck, and the pro players like, I'll play a watered down deck so they can be more competitive. You can kind of fixate the game, even out the game, kind of explain the kind of game you want. For example, I had to do this yesterday, last night, because we have a friend who has a bracket 2 deck and it's highly optimized, and we had 4 people, but one person said he would sit out if a new player wanted to play, and this one guy jumped in and says, I'm down to play. I'm like, do you really have a core 2 deck? He says, well, a Chocobo and this other one was one. I'm like, well, last time you played that deck, you took over the game and went home with it. And I'm like, I think we're looking for a more casual game, more casual experience.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't want to open another topic necessarily, but another interesting thing that I heard recently, and I've seen to be true, is this isn't so much a singleton format anymore. When Commander started, it was definitely a singleton format where you had one of each card. At this point, there are so many cards with different names that have duplicate effects, or using tutors, or using cloning effects, that it's not just the singleton format anymore.
Yeah,
So
Josh Lee Kwai was talking about this, right, on Command Night?
Yeah. I was starting to watch a video about consistency in Commander and how it's gotten so easy to build consistency in your deck.
Well, I think part of it is, so Magic in its modern era, right? And I don't necessarily mean the modern format, because I'm actually going to go back a little bit further than that. I'm going to go back a couple of blocks to Odyssey block. I think that is really when Magic entered its modern kind of era.
Mm-hmm.
We're at 25 years of that. There are only so many cards and so many card effects that can exist, right? So they're going to have to print a lot of cards in each set, and those cards are going to be copies of cards that do things that other cards do, just because there's only so many things that can be done. And they know when a card is bad, right? Because when you're putting out 7 sets a year, and each set is at minimum 190 cards, right? Even like Spider-Man was a small set, it was 190 cards. You're adding 1,000 cards a year, 1,400 cards a year almost to the game. Well, those cards are going to have to, some of them, be copies of other cards. And they're not going to make legendaries that necessarily. We have some legendaries, they're just power crept versions of other legendaries. But for the most part, a lot of those cards are, like me and Tort, I think we spent 15 minutes the other night talking about counter spells on his chill stream, right? Boy, if you want to play 2-mana counter spells, you can build a deck with 15 2-mana counter spells. And that's not to count the counter spells that are actually good that cost more or less. And that's just because there's so many cards they're shoving out. So while I do agree that it's a problem with the singleton format, I don't think Wizards did it because of Commander.
No,
I think it was just they're needing to make these cards, and Commander says, hey, you can have any card you want. You just can't have any more of the basic lands with the same name. But that's how we end up with 3 of those cards that all basically do the same thing. They're in red where it says discard a card and draw 2 cards, right, as an additional casting cost.
Right.
And they came out within like 2 years of each other.
Another thing is there's so many cards that do away with the legendary rule even.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, so that's another thing that doesn't even necessarily apply anymore. You used to be able to rely on the fact that, well, it's legendary. I'm only going to have 1 in there, whether it be in Commander or any other format. But there are so many things that cancel even that rule out. So,
right. And Wizards of the Coast is looking to fix synergies and strategies in Commander. That's why they do make some of the cards that duplicate effects, but they try to find ways to do duplicate effects with certain synergies in mind. I mean, look, like one thing Green needed, especially Elves needed, is more draw. And so in Lorwyn, you can tell they made a Commander card. This is whenever you play an Elf or a specific creature type, you draw a card. You know, they do that kind of stuff because consistency is like here's a hot take. Consistency in Commander is the reason why brackets need to be a thing.
Oh yeah, because like the more consistent your deck is, the more powerful it is just inherently, right? Now maybe the thing you're trying to do consistently isn't super powerful, right? But anytime that you can say, hey, I'm going to do this thing pretty much regardless of what happens on X turn, that deck is powerful. Now, maybe it's not powerful enough to shift it up a bracket. Maybe the thing you're trying to do is kind of dumb and it belongs in bracket 1, right? Or it's not really that powerful. It's just interesting. So you're still in bracket 2. But consistency will inherently make your deck more powerful unless you're just doing intently something stupid with it.
Right.
Which again is I love people who do dumb stuff with their decks. I play a morph
How we
deck.
get along so well.
Exactly. I mean, I play a morph deck that I could sit down right now and change 20 cards out of and make that deck more powerful.
Right.
But it's a morph deck. I want it. It is what I want it to be. It is exactly what I want it to be. It morphs things. I could build that deck more powerful without much thought. Me and Tibalts talked about this. He asked one of his questions, why did you cut all of these good cards? And my response was they didn't play with the morph effect, and that's what I want this deck to do. I want to play morph.
Really quick. MTG Hillbilly.
Dag blaggit.
What's on your mind, Hillbilly?
Well, I was getting ready to ask, what about how would you rate a deck with late game game changers? I mean, not necessarily on the game changer list, but late game game changers. That'll change the game to where your deck will win. How would you rate a deck like that? Would you put it in a lower? Would you put it in like a bracket 4, 3, or 2?
I mean, if somebody's playing Coalition Victory and they're not just like turboing out 5-color creature spells and lands, I have, hey man, I feel like that deck could probably still be bracket 2, right? Because as long as you're not turboing out, getting all 5 basic land types and getting a permanent of each color, and then finding a way to get it, right? A bunch of tutors to go find said Coalition Victory. Then I think that personally, I think that's fine. I don't know if they I don't know if Coalition Victory is on the game changer list anymore. I don't know if it's one they took off. But if somebody said, hey, look, I've got this 5-color deck. I don't run a bunch of sack and searches. I don't have any tutors. My win condition's Coalition Victory. I'm like, hey, let's play it at bracket 2. I will play that deck against a precon. Let's go have fun. Because I want to see it happen.
So the short answer I have for you, Hillbilly, you got to play test the deck to see how efficient and how well it works.
Well, let's say Exquisite Bond, Exquisite Blood, Sanguine Bond.
Yeah, that's a bracket 4 combo.
are
That card will crump you so fast.
Late game. They're both cost 5 mana.
Yeah, in
So you can
Commander,
only
you could
cast
pretty easily
one per
play that. Yeah, you could drop 1 on 3 and 1 on 4. Like if you have all you need is a Soul Ring.
So this I think is where we default to the idea of
But you
intent.
won't always have that Soul Ring.
right?
No, not always. Yeah, but ramp and stuff like that.
So I think it defaults to two things. It defaults to intent and what turn you could pull it off on consistently with that deck. Because some decks, yes, you're going to see it maybe 5-6 turns in, and boom, you're going to see it on a regular basis. Other decks, you may be 10 or 15 turns in before you get that Sanguine Bond or Exquisite Blood combo out. So it depends on how you want to play it. It's not an automatic, though. I don't know. Does that count as a 2-card combo?
It is considered an early 2-card combo because all you need is a mana rock. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a Soul Ring. Soul Ring just makes it happen even a turn faster. Any kind of mana rock or a Jet Medallion, and you can do it on 4/5.
Right.
All you need is a little bit of ramp to get it out ahead of its 5 mana cost.
Hey everybody, 2 words for you to take home today: intent and consistency.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's what the name of this episode should be. Talking Commander Practice, intent and consistency.
Right. But anyways, my friends, I can't believe it's already time.
No, I just got here. What are you doing?
We got to press this button right here. This button. Right there.
Hit that subscribe button. Become a part of the creep.
Too much to take, so it's lit. MTG3, are you game? Rise, creep, rise, building a following as we gain. Spitting fire like a dragon, no one can bring us down. MTG3 in the house, we own this town. Ripping through the beats with a fury.
Hey everybody! I can't believe how fast the show went today. It's all Tibalts' fault. He came in here, he gleamed.
I monopolized all the conversation. I kept you guys mesmerized and entertained for 50 minutes straight. That's amazing.
That's right. 50 minutes straight. That's exactly what happened. Well, I hope you guys out there in the chat line had a good time watching, visiting with us. There's a group of people who came in, just chat and chilled and whatnot. What we got wrong, what we got right, things we talked about, consistency, intent. Like, does Hillbilly intend to buy that commander deck? I don't know. Anyways, we gotta get to the thrill section, my friends. We're gonna start off with Tibalts Apprentice.
Well, thank you for having me. It's great to be here. I'm always happy to send in questions on the Discord, like anybody else can do. I'm not exclusive to that. Anybody could do that as well as the other things. So definitely support Tortoise and all that he does. For me, go to darkritual.site and you will find everything Tibalts Apprentice there. There you go. Beautiful. darkritual.site, where chaos comes together. What happened? Yeah. We're in the opposite now.
Yeah, let's go. With that, we're going to roll over to TheoneRAYman.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. Great conversation today. I hope people took something from it. I know some of these videos we can ramble a bit, but hopefully somebody took something from it. While I'm not at Mr. B's Game Lounge currently because of the weather this morning, you can find us at Mr. B's Game Lounge on YouTube. And if anybody has any suggestions for a deck they'd like to see, maybe you have a commander that you're interested in. We have so many people. We have so many different decks between us all. There's a good chance that somebody may have that deck. So if anybody has a deck they want to see played, maybe we can throw a version of it onto the stream. So again, thanks everybody for tuning in. And I will actually not be here tomorrow. I have to take my mother to a doctor's appointment. So I will see everybody Monday, but tune in tomorrow because I'm sure Tortoise, Hillbilly, and anybody else who shows up will give you guys a phenomenal show.
Boom. That's right. And I hope tomorrow goes well for you.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. And with that, we got Hillbilly.
Hey, everybody. Early access is done, gone, and over with, but now we're getting ready for another one. And it'll be the Turtles. Not sure when, but hey, it'll be probably sometime in February or early March. But anyway, can't wait for the Turtles. It's going to be a great set. Just about all the cards have been spoiled, so what the heck? We're getting early previews. But Anyway, enough about that. This afternoon around 2:00, I will be doing another arena stream and brewing up another Whirlwind deck. And that's all I got planned for today.
All right. That's all you got planned for today. Everybody, Super Fast Tortoise. And tonight we have a Commander game going on. I'll probably go live before then, but we're going to have a Commander game. It's going to be bracket 3 tonight. I want to play with a different deck tonight. So I'm waiting for upgrades from a core 2. See if I push it to 3 or keep it to 2 based on the intent of play, my friends. But with that, my friends, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today on the show. Hillbilly, Matt, Saxon, Rayman. You're muted, Michael. And I want to thank you all for watching. Well, thank you for all watching and chatting with us today while we had this discussion. I hope you guys are chilling out. Have a good day. Everything. I want to thank my channel members and subscribers for building and supporting the channel the way you do. And I want to remind you that you're loved. Someone's thinking about you. And if you can, say and or do something positive for someone else today. So, because you might be the change they need. They might need that attitude lift. And that might be where you step in. With that, my friends, let's get out of here.
I want to thank you, channel members of the channel, for supporting this creep the way you do. You are awesome. And you subscribers, everybody that subscribes, you're doing amazing too. Thank you very much for all that you do.
Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's talk from in the shell and share good